Brought to you by the Give Something Back Foundation.
Steve Adubato here. It is my pleasure to introduce Nicole Langdo, who is founding director of the Painted Oak Nursery School and Kindergarten in Hopewell, New Jersey. How you doing?
That's right. I'm great. Thank you.
We're going to be having 3 conversations with 3 educational innovators in the area of early childhood education today. And what I found fascinating about you, we had a panel discussion with you and 3 of your colleagues. Your school is fascinating for many reasons, but not the least of which is much of the learning goes on outside. Talk about that.
Right. That's right. So every day the children come to school in their full gear for the day.
Define full gear.
Full gear looks like in the fall and spring rain gear. So a rain jacket, rain pants, can be little bibs or pants with their backpacks fully packed and ready for the day, food, water, extra clothes in case or when they get wet or muddy and might need to change underneath. Thinking that the rain gear obviously does keep them relatively clean, so to speak. And then we trek out into the woods for learning and play. So that is circle with songs and counting and books and patterns and sequencing and questions and all of that, and then play in the woods, being little among the trees.
But let's be clear, there is a philosophy here, and it's grounded based on?
Yes, so we draw inspiration from the Reggio Emilia approach.
The Reggio Emilia approach.
Yes.
Talk about that.
So what that means is that the children are really the directors of their own learning. The teachers are the facilitators. So what that means really is that the teachers will ask the children questions, which could be, did you hear that sound as we were walking to the woods? What do you think it was? And get a conversation started and see where the children take it, which then gives us insight into what they're interested in, what they want to know more about, maybe what they already know. And then we bring in more learning materials to support what they want to learn about, as opposed to what the teachers think they should learn about.
So back up for a second, if you could. So I'm fascinated by the use of questions. Mm-hmm. It's a wonderful book called Change Your Questions, Change Your Life by Dr. Marilee Adams, in which she argues that if you ask the right questions, you can not only change the conversation, but change the dynamics of a relationship and ultimately change your life.
Sure.
Are you saying that teachers are taught to facilitate by asking great questions?
We do, yes. And
are they trained to do that?
Well,
or do you believe that's by instinct?
It's been a little while since I've been in school.
But you're teachers.
But yes.
Why do they know to ask these questions is my point.
So we follow the lead of the children, and I think just ask, almost like mirroring back what our experience is for them. So if we see something, we'll ask them if they saw it or if they heard it, or it can be as simple as, which way they came to school today and what did you see on your way, just as a way of getting conversations started.
So the key is the conversation.
Yes, really, more so than the question. But then when the child will say something, then we follow up, with more questions to try to get them talking and see what they know and what they want to know more about.
How'd you get into this?
Well, that's an interesting question.
See, I have the questions.
Oh, you do, yes.
I do not have the answers. Go ahead.
So I love being a teacher. I've been a teacher for a long time. Right out of college, went into teaching for the flexibility and the creativity that every day brought something new, a new experience, drawing from the children's interests. From day to day, every day could look different based on the mood they were in, or if they got enough sleep, or if they read something interesting that they wanted to bring into class. And so what led me then to start the school was feeling that environment where questioning and a project-based approach was not as evident for me as a teacher as much at the, towards my 20-year mark as a classroom teacher. And so then deciding that I wanted to have a greater impact, and also the way that I like to teach led to creating the school so that could be maintained.
I'm curious about this. Starting a school.
Yes.
Founding a school.
Mm-hmm.
How much courage did it take to do that?
It took a very supportive husband and understanding children. And
How old are your children?
my children are 8 and 10 now.
Wow.
And my daughter came to the school when she was 4. So she helped, a little bit with the inspiration of what a very rich learning environment should look like for preschoolers, and a very active preschooler as she was. And parents that are looking for a different approach to preschool for their children. We do not do worksheets at our school.
Do not do worksheets?
No, we do not.
Tests?
No,
Grades?
no.
How do you recruit the parents/students?
Well, our parents are already either looking for something different.
How would you know? I'm a marketing person. I'm fascinated by. So how do you find them? How do they find you?
They're friends. Really now at this point it's word of mouth. So we're now in our 5th year. So we're still in our infancy as far as schools go, but it's really word of mouth, and it's similar social circles. So a lot of our families would be out hiking on the weekends anyway, or at local farms, or doing these kinds of programs with their children anyway. But we have other parents too that will say, I know this is good for my children or my child, but I'm not going to stand out in the rain while they jump in puddles. So we're so happy that you will.
And to the skeptics who say, come on, that's not the way. It's not a traditional or standard way to have an early childhood experience. A, do you care? And B, if you do, what do you say?
So usually I will ask for parents who are typically around my age, maybe a little bit younger at this point, but what their favorite memories were of a child growing up. And many times it is playing outside, after the sun goes down with neighborhood children, only coming home when, mom or dad calls you from the back porch. And really parents, my mom had no idea what I was doing with my sister outside as we were far from the house. And so they will typically be able to recall, yes, well, my favorite memories were outside as a child, and we're losing that for our children now. This is a new generation of children that are spending almost 8 hours on average a day in front of a screen. And
Some
only
kind of platform, some
30
screen.
minutes, yes, and only 30 minutes outside, which is leading to a lot of issues, health issues for little ones.
Not the least of which is obesity.
Yes, exactly.
Nicole, this is fascinating, and you are to be credited for following your dream, but more importantly also, you're helping an awful lot of kids.
Thank you.
Hi, we're Joan and Jack Hall.
The Give Something Back Foundation believes that our most vulnerable students should have the same opportunities that all students have.
That's why we are proud to support their college scholarship program, which provides free college to students with considerable financial and social barriers.
These students are mentored in high school, and over 90% graduate college in 4 years and without a penny of debt.
We believe we can change the world by changing the life of a child.
Also brought to you by the Northward Center, NJM, and by the Russell Berry Foundation.